restaurants are getting deadlier by the day. But people have to eat. Right behind you. We make a good squad.
A rot seeps through here. Who poisons us? We cannot see.
Didn't used to be this overgrown. I can take care of that if you want. I'm always telling visitors we're not as crazy as they've heard. Stand back. I got a bad feeling about whatever that bear's chomping on. That's a bad way to go. Aye. It's almost like the brambles are trying to crush that house. Coming in hot. Quiet as the depths.
The scourge invades. Claw it out. It breathes. It is close.
That's the claviger. What happened?
Are you blind? We're being hunted. Get rid of the band. We'll talk after. Are you blind? We're being hunted. Get rid of the band. We'll talk after.
Here we go! Let's see what you got! Still recovering.
You monstrosity! Well done!
What happened to that bear?
Oh, my savior. Oh, thank the gods. Your arrival couldn't have been more timely. Oh, I can manage. This isn't my first brush with death, and it may not be my last. Ambassador Falchion Heelguard at your service, and you must be our Imperial envoy. Better late than never, I say. Oh, resourceful and polite. Aren't you going to introduce me to your capable companion? Can he be trusted? Or did he now?
A little faster, and we might have been able to save Clavenger Aemon, too. Happy to have been of service, nevertheless.
I'm charmed. I take it you had business with the Clavenger? Poor fellow. It was the bear that killed him, of course. This wilderness has been a little too wild of late. I'm no woodsman, but I'm inclined to agree. We heard alarming reports of a blight in the wilderness, and a strange corruption moving toward the city. The changes in the ecosystem are expected, but this one was progressing too rapidly to ignore. We tracked the corruption all the way here, but all we found was that creature gone mad. So, the rumors of plague were true. The situation is more dire than I imagined. We need a plan of action before whatever this is consumes the living lands.
We are here. Come to us. Commune with us. We have waited for you. Come.
What's the matter? Can you hear me? Well, that's encouraging. The Emperor trusts your judgment, and so do I. Whatever you think is best, I'll support it. You know something of our troubles. That much is clear. What would you have us do? You suspect a connection. Interesting. Ardra is said to be filled with essence, soul stuff, and maybe the essence will respond to a godlike's touch. Oh, just be careful. The Emperor would never forgive me if anything happened to you.
Take it slow. We'll be right here.
It is you. Come closer. We feared you were but a dream. We wake from seasons of slumber. We have been waiting. A colony of insects. The many united by one purpose. Mycelia twining through the loam, taking and giving in equal measure. We are the ache in the land, the roots that run deep. And you are familiar to us. Our memories are fractured, but you too are alone in your strangeness. A rot eats at the foundation of this land. Corruption seeps into the soil. It spreads and festers and seeps and crawls. Poor bear. Poor us. Poor you. No, not its fault. Fear hides behind teeth and talons. We are afraid too. We fear the rot. It spreads in the bear, the water, the wild. It is an infection. A foreign body invades, the host fights back. We feel the pain of this intrusion. It overwhelms us. If an animal sickens after a fight, as it howls and sings its agony, What do you do? Nurse it, care for it, grow it like the vines. We were loved once, perhaps. We remember, almost. A thought, like motion in the water. The rot festers. We could suck the poison out, let green things grow in its place, and we could give you the gift of our healing touch. But a favor for a favor. Would you help us in return when we ask it? We offer you the power to heal and be healed, and you would wheedle and bargain? Decide, do you wish this power or not? A favor for a favor then. This place shall heal, and you shall know our power. Retire. New again this world, new again words. We will find you soon.
Incredible. Envoy, I don't know what you did, but that was miraculous.
You all right? You look like you were in a trance for several minutes.
What happened? What can you recall? Spare no detail. An attack on your very soul. Such an event could have killed someone, or worse.
Be careful where you go saying that. Nowadays, that kind of talk makes people nervous.
Inquisitor Ludwig will need to hear of this. I've agreed to share my findings with the Steel Garrote, as long as they do the same. Not that she has any interest in ecology. Ludwig is obsessed with our security. Sees enemies lurking around every corner. The Steel Garrote provide us some much-needed protection, but they answer only to themselves. We have our interest in the living lands, and they have theirs. A mutually beneficial arrangement. Stay out of their way, and they'll return the favor. We'll talk more at the embassy. I'll ensure the Paradise militia give you free passage into the city. Envoy, what you've done here is truly amazing. Let's keep up the good work, eh?
Just watch your step. There are swaths of the city barely more civilized than this. Whatever the Inquisitor's like, she can't be worse than that damn, can she?
You are full of surprises, Envoy. I'd heard God Knights have strange powers, but I've never known one to heal an entire road. Guess your Emperor really did send the right person for the job, huh? Still, you have your work cut out for your parodies. Enjoy the calm while you can. Let's talk the next time we're at camp. Feel like
The path to Paradise is a tad overgrown, but I can find my way back. I'm well enough to see myself out. Thank you for your concern, Envoy.
Hilgard doesn't seem like the kind of man you'd send to the frontier, does he? You seem much better suited to it.
Nice work. That'll help against whatever we face out there.
After your voyage, it must be nice to spend the night on dry land. Personally, I've always found the rocking of a ship to be soothing. As long as I've got my feet facing the bow, that is.
You know, for most people, getting sent to the Living Lands is a punishment. But, according to Steenrick, you're the personal envoy of the Emperor of Adir himself. Quite a position. You must have gone through one of Adir's famous academies. I can't imagine you had time for much other than your studies, so tell me, is this your first time getting dirt under your fingernails? The Living Lands won't disappoint in that regard. Though the experiences on offer here had been the end of plenty of intrepid sorts. What I really want to know, since hard questions are your specialty, is why the Emperor would send his best scholar all the way to the Living Lands. Oh, that almost does sound like a punishment. I don't know how you investigate a so-called plague of the soul, so better you than me. Being a godlike, I don't suppose your patron deity gives you any unique insights into matters of the soul, do they? Sorry. It's a rare sight, and these are strange times. Now that we've seen the Dream Scourge, I understand what the fuss is about. Refugees are flooding in from outlying regions. The guards are restricting access to the city. And people are making offerings to the gods for everything from hangovers to indigestion, just in case. I like your confidence, just be careful how you express it. Unfortunately, the presence of so many adherent troops and the rumored exploits of the Steel Garrote paladins supporting them is only making a tense situation worse. I think that's why the Clavenger accompanied your ambassador. Exactly. Paradise has been quiet lately, but I don't know how long that'll last. We're talking about an island that has been largely settled by nomads, exiles, and dissidents. People who tend to be suspicious of authority. But what about you? What's your stake in things? Besides your orders, of course. Just be careful where you say that. That's the kind of talk that may get people thinking you've got the Dream Scourge. I'll let you get some rest, but thanks for talking. It's good to be part of a squad again, even if it's just for a while. They say people afflicted with it have strange, vivid dreams and start confusing them with reality. What starts as a light daze becomes severe disorientation and eventually a bent towards chaotic violence. And then, fungal growths take over your body. So Dream Scourge. No, Dream Scourge is different. It spreads all over. Still, if you see any new mushrooms sprouting up anywhere unexpected, let me know. Until then, look on the bright side. The Living Lands is filled with people and things that are likelier to kill you first. It's the gateway to the Living Lands, a scenic port city that's as beautiful and dangerous as the wilds around it. Most visitors enjoy some mariner's porridge at the Ballarrock, a back alley shakedown, and then the sudden return of that porridge out of one end or the other. Then, if they've got any sense, they turn around and take their chances back where they came from, with authentic tales of their adventures in the Living Lands. Don't get me wrong, it's a great city. In part because it's great at winnowing out people who have no business being here. The Living Lands means a hard-won second chance for the people who settle here. But first, you've got to survive it. And the island gives no quarter. For a lot of people, the Living Lands is a last resort. They come fleeing war, debt, famine, the law. Take your pick. For others, it's freedom. To seek glory, to redefine yourself, to live in a way you can't, maybe even on pain of death wherever you come from. Don't get me wrong, there are perfectly lovely people here, but most of us who stick around are a little odd. Used to be. If you could last out here, you could count on being left alone. Dangers in the wilds is nothing new out here, but something about the Dream Scourge is. And if that weren't enough, a lot of people aren't too keen on Adir's presence and affiliations out here. Ilgard's new embassy and this alliance with the Steel Garrote smell like the authority and order that a lot of people came here to leave behind. But I don't mean to put that on you. I imagine you're tired of having to answer for every Adiran who sneezes into somebody's stew. My favorite subject. What gave it away? My finely pointed teeth, or the striking blue of my scales? Fair enough. My people are known to roam. Rawatai's hardly a hospitable environment. Many of us end up settling elsewhere or making a living on the go. That's where you get the popular image of the Amawa bodyguard or mercenary. Don't sell me short. I've also been a drifter, a middling carpenter, and a terrible card player. We should play sometime. I'll show you. Then you must have come during our sunny season. Lashed by storms and battered by waves. We call it the rough country. And old trenchers say it's made us who we are. You'd fit right in with the Ranganui's inner circle. It's true that the same things that make Rawatai a difficult place to live have shaped our people and our kingdom. Our coral masons have built living harbors and fortifications along the coast to protect our ships and shelter our cities. For all our shortage of fertile soil, Rawatai's land is abundant in saltpeter, copper, iron, most of the other materials you need to outfit your military with weapons and cannons. We value struggling and striving together. It helped us survive and build one of the most powerful navies in Aora. It's been hard won across a variety of conquests, cooperatives, and trading colonies. Some of the traditionalists worry that prosperity is making us as complacent and soft-handed as our rivals. Same as traditionalists everywhere. Me, I prefer the simplicity of the living lands. Kill the thing that's trying to kill you, and hope it has some edible meat on it. I joined up with the Rawatai Navy as soon as I was old enough. I was part of our campaign to establish a foothold in the Deadfire Archipelago. Starting out, it was exciting, purposeful. I believed in our mission. We were returning to our ancestral homeland, reclaiming fertile soil that would feed Rawatai. Additionally, we were helping Deadfire, bringing organization to the pirate-ridden archipelago and civilization to our distant Wana cousins. I was young and naive, and maybe that's no excuse. The Huana didn't want us there. We spent almost as much time fighting the tribes as we did pirates and Wilder. And it was hard to see how any of our fighting and dying was feeding people back home. I'd always heard that war was supposed to temper us, strengthen us, but I didn't see that either. Some fell apart. Some bought into the cruelty that our continued presence required. Others didn't buy into it, but went along with it anyway. And that bothered me more somehow. I deserted. And I bounced between different mercenary companies for almost 10 years. Hey, not all of us catch on so quick. Besides, there were only so many options for a Rawataian deserter with no training and anything else. As a mercenary, I figured I could at least choose my battles and my crew. I ended up here, didn't I? It was more of the same. The only comfort was being part of a squad. By the time I came to the Living Lands, I'd seen enough, had enough. I did. Yeah, for a while. Look, if I can give you some hard-won advice, stay on your toes. You're in a difficult position. Whatever your role asks of you, make sure it's something you're willing to give. Because you're the one who has to live with the consequences. I figured. That must have been 6 years ago now. I guess I was drifting, looking for a change. I was living in a settlement called Thirdborn. It's a rugged little place, lots of Rawataian expatriates. It really was. Anyway, we were talking about something else, yeah? Sure. What's on your mind? So did my commanding officers. What do you want to know? Knight, envoy. I haven't seen this much excitement in a while. Perhaps I've got you to thank for bringing it with you, Envoy.